Welcome to CWM. Today is February 9th. Today's mini seminar topic would be home ownership myth. So we're going to talk about various myths about the home ownership. And because right now it's kind of a mixed environment. People saying this, people saying that. So we're going to talk about the current trend as well as the existing myth, okay, whether that's true or not. Okay, let's dive into the first myth. The people saying owning isn't always better than renting. There's a lot of debate between owning is better or renting is better. Always is hot topic. Well, we're going to talk about the recent news from Wall Street Journal as well later. But while you can hire someone to do your yards, in most cases it is up to you to replace your roof, heating systems, and to tackle plumbing problems if you owned homes. Of course, exception would be if you live in a condominium or townhouse, the owners association community, then it's going to be a little bit different story. By the way, in US, about 20% of residents live in condo or townhouse complex, which means homeowners association community. And but the renters may find their monthly mortgage would be cost less than they are currently paying on rent. So what they're saying is, so you have to look into a lot of different aspects when you own the house, because sometimes we're going to talk about increasing rent later on, but sometimes mortgage, if you purchase a mortgage, the monthly mortgage is actually less expensive than the rent itself. So in that case, you better own. But you have to also consider what's the drawback of owning the house. Simply saying you have to take care of a lot of things. So whether you are ready to do that, okay? All right, so owning isn't always better than renting. May not be true in some cases, because you have to think about the different aspects of owning the homes. Oh, by the way, do you know what is current home ownership rate in US, by the way? Probably you remember somewhat roughly 60s, okay? So right now, US home ownership, the rate is 65%, somewhere, some statistics say 65.5%. But the record in US was home ownership rate was 69%, okay? Even though right now is really a hot market in terms of residential market, but still home ownership rate is about 65.5%. Okay, the second myth is Realty TV is a realistic depiction of home ownership. That's a myth. You are probably familiar with Property Brothers, right? In the TV show. But in that show, the numbers are not realistic. Not all numbers are realistic, okay? So house flipping shows major renovation look easy. If you look at the EV property browsers, for instance, the flipping looks so easy, but material and labor costs are often far pricier than what's depicted, okay? So we recommend, in fact, NAR, okay, NAR, they edited the show First-Time Buyer, okay, which now is on Hulu. So you can suggest this show rather than Property Brothers in some other channels, because NAR sponsored this show, First Time Buyer. It's a more realistic to first home buyer especially. Okay, so do not rely on the reality TV. Okay, that's a myth. Okay, the third one is, if you own your own home, you can do whatever you want, because a lot of people saying that, oh, this is so inconvenient to live in a rental complex. So I want to own my own house. But so if you own your house, then you could do whatever you want to do. Not so true. Maybe you can blast to your stereo at 2 a.m. if you live in 10 acre in rural Sussex County. But if you live in a high rise in a Jersey condo, the Jersey City condo is not the case. Okay. And the same goes for major renovation and additions, since you have to follow zoning guidance, especially you own condos and townhouses, then you have to stick to rules and regulations. First of all, the condo association, and second of all, the town ordinances. So it's not, if you own your house, I can do whatever I want. It's not the case. The next one is, my credit has to be stellar. In other words, if you want to buy a home, if you want to own a home, my credit score has to be really high, really good. Not so true. Having a credit score about 620 and up, higher, 600, like 630, 650, still very fine. Should qualify you for a conventional mortgage and help you get a better rate. And also, government-backed loans may be an option if you have lower score, for instance, FHA. So don't give up, even though your credit score or your client's credit score were somewhat low, 600. Still, there are many ways to get the home mortgage. And the another myth is, absolutely, I need 20% down payment. That's a myth. It's not so true. Okay, a lot of buyers who are not familiar with the whole scope of a mortgage program, they just maybe have impression that, oh, absolutely, I have a 20% down. Not so true. The putting 20% down, of course, help you avoid private mortgage insurance. But there are many other options, including 0% down for VA, as you know, and little as 3.5% down option for FHA loans. In fact, not only FHA loan, but the major banks has the 3% down program. Also, so-called physician's loans. These loans for like sort of high income professionals also can get this kind of a loan. In that case, they can put down very little, 3% and 5%, etc. So this physician's loan, we call it the nickname, become very popular and a great way for new doctors to buy a property. Typically, doctors, they graduated with a heavy loan. medical school, for the medical school. So these mortgage lenders look into this profile, and they just overlook, they ignore the enormous debt already they have before they purchase the home. Okay, because they know the doctors will make a good income in the future. So that logic applies to some other high level professional people as well. Okay, so don't just stick to a 20% down payment rule. There are many other options. Okay. The next thing we want to talk about is, do I need the cash for closing? Always we have to prepare closing cost. That's true, but not all true, because some mortgage allow buyers to roll some closing costs into their new loan. Okay, that means you don't need to have the closing cost as a cash. With a higher offer than others. Okay, so in other words, when you make an offer, you make a higher offer. Then buyer asks a seller to pay a portion of the closing cost to make a more competitive offer. Well, sometimes you have this situation, seller concession. Okay. So if you make a deal, let's say $500,000, but in the contract, you can put $10,000 more. So the listing price, the sold price of the contract, it can be $510,000 as a sales price. So it's a $10,000 more than agreed price. Okay. Sometimes seller allows that. We call it seller concession. So you can utilize $10,000 as closing cost. Often FHA loan, we use the seller's concession. And you can apply this to the conventional mortgage situation. You can ask a seller, or so some mortgage lender allows this closing cost added to the loan amount. So there are many different ways. We need to be creative. The next one is housing market too hot to buy, so I'm going to give up. Is that true? No. Well, no, low inventory has meant multiple offers. Okay, that's true. But don't let that stop you from home shopping. If you love the property and are happy with the numbers means by number, pricing, there is no bad time to buy, particularly when rates are at historic lows. Again, we're going to talk about some news from Wall Street Journal today, because there are a lot of struggling right now because it's a tough market to buy, but still you have to buy. Why? And etc. The next one is I'm good at DIY, do it yourself stuff, so I can skip having property inspected. Some buyer can say that, but that's not good. And it doesn't matter how handy you are. Still, you cannot tell if there is an underground oil tank buried or if radon levels are high. So there are so many different aspects of home inspection. So don't be brave, okay? You need inspection. The next one is, I can handle everything on my own. Well, because it's internet age, I can pick up a lot of things from internet, but agents, real estate agents, often hear about the listings even before they hit the market. Okay. For instance, in our cases, we have office exclusive listings. We don't do all the time, but yes, we kind of announce before we hit the market, usually, okay? And then a little bit later on, it can go on to MLS systems. So anyway, the agent often hear about the listings before they hit the market. So that's why you need associate with agent, and agents have plenty of experience dealing with issues that pop up during a sale. They also have a network of mortgage lenders and attorneys and title companies and experienced the people who can handle professionally, who can hold your hand along the way. So realtors are really valuable resources, especially the first-time buyers who can easily be overwhelmed. There are so many issues, even though you think I can handle it in the beginning, but as time goes, there are many issues that can be popped up. 부동산 마켓에 이제 특히 그 레지던셜 마켓 쪽에 그 홈 오너십에 대해서 특히 이제 퍼스트 홈 바이어들 경우에 많은 그 전해져 내려오는 이야기들이 있는데 사실이 아닌 것들이 상당히 많아서 뭐 예를 들어서 잘 본인의 상황을 잘 점검을 해야 되죠. 집을 사는 게 항상 좋지만은 않다. 이런 뭐 얘기도 많이 있는데 그걸 잘 본인의 사정을 따져서 일반적으로 지금 이자가 낮기 때문에 또 이제 뉴스에서 다루겠지만 지금 렌트가 엄청난 속도로 올라가고 있어요. 최근에 1년 사이에 한 14%가 지금 올라갔다 그러는데 그러다 보니까 잘 피규어아웃 하면 모기지가 렌트보다 더 싼 경우도 많다는 거죠. 물론 이제 집을 지니고 살면 고쳐야 될 것들이 상당히 많은 것은 사실이다. 잘 피규어아웃 할 필요가 있고 이 TV 쇼를 너무 보다가 TV 쇼에 너무 이제 매혹돼서 특히 프로퍼티 브라더스인가요? 두 사람 브라더가 하는 그런 쇼 같은 거는 좀 그걸 다 믿으면 안 된다. 왜냐하면 거기서 보여주는 숫자보다 훨씬 실질적으로는 레이버라든지 인건비나 자재비가 훨씬 더 많은 경우가 많다. 그래서 레커멘드는 NAR에서 만든 First Time Buyer라는 쇼가 있는데 그게 훌루에 지금 나가고 있는 것 같아요. 저도 한번 본 적은 없지만 그래서 First Time Buyer들 손님이 있으면 그걸 오히려 보라고 하는 게 좋겠다. 그 다음에 뭐 이제 일반적으로 집을 사면은 내 마음대로 할 수 있다고 잘못 생각할 수 있는데 꼭 그렇지 않다. 집도 옆집이 있고 다 그렇죠. 그리고 특히 하이라이즈 칸도 같은 걸 사면 그런 거는 또 하지 못하죠. 같이 살아야 되기 때문에 칸도 어소시에이션의 룰이 있고 그 다음에 이제 집 고치고 이러는 것도 잘못 생각하시면 안 되는 게 다 막 마음대로 내 마음대로 고치는 거 아니고 칸도 어소시에이션 어프로벌 또 타운 어프로벌 이렇게 받아야 되기 때문에 그리고 크레딧 스코어가 아주 좋아야만 집을 산다 그런 거가 아니다. 그래서 FHL 론 같은 것도 있고 가반먼 백 론은 조금 이자가 낮아도 크레딧 스코어가 낮아도 방법이 많이 있다. 그 다음에 20%에 너무 얽매일 필요도 없다. 왜냐하면은 그 다운페이를 적게 하는 프로그램이 많기 때문에 VL 론 같은 경우는 다운페이가 필요 없다든지 FHL 론 같은 경우는 3.5%라든지 그러니까 again 렌트하는 거를 이제 단기간 렌트하는 거 하고 이제 이런 경비를 내면서도 왜냐하면 이제 그 프라이빗 모기지 인슈런스도 내야 되니까 20% 미만이니까 그러나 그걸 내고도 유리한 면이 있다면 이제 컨빈스 해야 되는 거죠. 그다음에 이제 physician's loan이라고 있는데 이제 꼭 physician만은 아니고 사실은 high level professional들은 다운페이를 굉장히 적게 하면서도 하는 프로그램들이 상당히 많다. 왜냐하면 그 사람들의 퓨처 인컴을 보기 때문에 그런 방법이 많이 있으니까 찾을 수 있다. 그다음에 뭐 클로징 코스트가 캐시가 있어야 된다. 그것도 사실 우리가 오버컴할 수 있다. 왜냐하면은 이제 론 어마운트를 조금 더 올려서 셀러 컨세션이라는 게 있죠. 그래서 그건 어그리하면 이제 모기지 랜더에서도 인정을 해줘서 만불을 더 빌리는 거죠. 일종의 만불 아니면 5,000불을 더 빌리는 형식으로 해서 때로는 셀러 컨세션의 경우는 세일즈 프라이스를 올려서 적죠. 그래서 이제 진행하는 그런 방법도 있다. 그러니까 여러 가지 방법이 있으니까 찾으면 된다라는 거고요. 그리고 지금 현재 마켓이 너무 과열이 돼서 사기에는 아주 안 좋은 타이밍이다. 이런 얘기들을 하는데 그럼에도 불구하고 그렇지 않다. 왜 그러냐 하면 그러면 렌트 사는 게 낫냐? 그렇지 않은 게 렌트가 지금 또 굉장히 올라가고 있다. 그래서 그럼에도 불구하고 조금 오래 들어서는 아마 마켓에서 인벤토리가 조금 나아질 것 같아요. 여러 가지 상황을 봤을 때 don't give up. 그리고 이제 두 가지 포인트. 자기가 다 뭐 이렇게 집을 잘 아주 핸들한다고 인스펙션 안 한다든지 절대로 우리가 레코멘드 안 한다. 인스펙션은 꼭 어떤 상황이 나올지 모르기 때문에 인스펙션은 꼭 하는 게 좋다. 그리고 이제 혹시라도 내가 다 핸들할 수 있다. 이런 생각에서 에이전트 없이 막 달려들었다가 상당히 많은 문제들이 이제 튀어나오기 때문에 굉장히 당황할 수 있고 특별히 퍼스트 홈 바이어들은 그 에이전트를 잘 만나서 활용하는 것이 좋다. Okay, so we kind of talked about various myths in the market, and I want to elaborate more the rent versus home ownership later on in the news. Okay, thank you for joining us. See you all next week.